I know exactly what I'm doing. DFG, you heard? Yeah, I'm from the streets where the hood was swallowing me. Bullets are following me. These haters out to get me. Look how this Prada fit me. We move around with blickies. I got that bag, not a stash. Thick as Lionel Richie's. Jack riding out the 50s. Trapper turn smack rapper. Only smack rapper that you know is smack rapper.
Now, speaking of everywhere, Flatbush, Brooklyn.
Yes.
That's where it all started.
But how are you from Crown Heights and you not West Indian? Where your family from?
What you mean? I'm
He's
Bayesian.
West Indian.
Are you Bayesian?
You ain't
no flying fish, flying fish, and cuckoo.
God bless you.
He said I'm Bayesian. I'm like,
You know, I mean, I went to school out there.
Nice.
Like, I got my ass whooped.
Are you serious?
That made me smart.
When did you come to the States?
I was there from 9 to 13. I came back here.
Wow, that's late.
Yeah, I went to 210.
Yeah.
Got kicked out of 210, went to 248
Yo,
in your neighborhood.
Let me tell you something. My co-defendant, Scooter, right, called me today. And I was hoping he called before we taped because I had to ask him for his blessings, right? Because I want to touch on something, right, concerning him. And I was telling him about the podcast and Mav Hoffa and Woo, right? And he was like, where you from? I said, Crown Heights. He was like, why does he tape in Harlem? I said, I'll ask him. I don't know. I swear to God, bro. That's the first thing he said to me on the phone.
Is that the question?
Yeah.
All right, we're 2 blocks from Wagner. I spent some time in Wagner.
Shout out to Wagner.
Shout out to Wagner.
Some gangsters in there.
My barber was actually in his shop. So I came down here and I told him I was thinking about starting a podcast. And the lady who used to own the shop, shout out to Carol, she was like, yo, why don't you shoot something in here? Bang, bang.
And it fit.
Yeah, facts.
It does. It really does. But I wanted to know. I think everybody wanted to know.
Yeah, right?
Because you from the Heights.
Well, the Heights. Well, the barbershops is, you know, Pat Joyner is mad
No.
skinny.
You're doing it right. You
Right.
can't. You can, not to say that you can't, but you wouldn't want to.
Right.
You wouldn't want to.
Right.
There would have to be more than commando.
So,
You get what I'm saying? Just because.
just because.
Just as a precaution. It would
Right.
have to be more than commando.
That's a fact.
Just cause. You know, it's different. Now, see, in my era, you could get away with that because respect went a long way.
Long.
And people knew who you were with. And that meant something. You know what I mean?
And Brooklyn reputation meant everything.
Oh, man. What? Bro, I got away with it. Listen.
All right, so where we starting?
I don't know.
East
I'm a
Flatbush.
guest. I can't tell you where.
East Flatbush,
Okay.
earliest memory.
I'm just dying to know what you know because I know you don't know much. But I'm just dying to know what you know. Listen, I'm here because I really rock with y'all.
Cherry Red Legend.
Right.
Let's start there.
Because Ed would, I've been on conference calls with record pools and DJs, right? I respect the DJs because they play the records, but they are restricted from asking me certain things. The only podcast I would ever do is the only one I've ever done, Nori. That's a friend of mine. I love Nori. That's my guy. You understand what I'm saying? So it was cool. So I did Drink Champs, and then days later he called me. And I'm like, bro, you were asking me questions you weren't supposed, but you know better, but it's cool for the show.
Right.
You my man, so I didn't have a problem with that. I said, but do you want to know now? He said, yeah. Then I told him. I said, bro, you asking me that on camera. You know I can't answer that. He's like, you're an ill nigga. I said, bro, it's who you were. So you know.
Right.
So go where you want to go.
Okay. All right, so everybody who's somebody, everyone who loves hip hop, your name has been revolving in one particular situation. A very big situation.
Ba-dum-dum.
The
What a symbol.
night Tupac Shakur got hit up in Quad, he was on his way to do a feature for you, correct? What do you recall about that, man?
You know, okay, so let me go here first, right? Common sense. Have you ever had like a record with a feature on it and stuff like that, like a collab record?
Yeah.
Okay. Up to how many people have been on a record at one time with you? A record of yours?
Record of mine. Probably about 5.
5? And it was your song?
It was shared.
Okay. So what happens prior to the collaboration? Like is there camaraderie? Do y'all get together? Do y'all listen to beats? Have y'all hung out? Do y'all smoke weed? Have y'all listened to beats together? Have y'all polyed? Have y'all went out for drinks?
Right. Usually, yes.
But there's a camaraderie, right? And now when you guys decide to do something, it kind of makes sense, right? Oh, why don't we do something? We're already, right? Okay. So let me say this. I wrote the movie, right? It will come off like, and this is the first time I'm speaking about it, it will come off as if it were a black version of The Departed.
Your movie.
Everything, most of everything that you've ever heard has been incorrect for 28, 29 years, right?
Give me 2 of those things. Just 2.
Okay, well, all right. So put it this way, right? I wrote the movie. Somebody kind of talked me into doing it because I was fine with not telling my story, right? And I've never collabed with anybody in my life. I wasn't the rapper's rapper, right? So with Helping Jay, I thought he was incredible, right? So I said, if he gets a push and he meets the right people, he's gonna go far, further than me, because he really can rap. I can do it. And I write for people. I wrote for a lot of rappers in the game, right? Before I came out and after I came out.
Earlier years, you worked with Puff, right?
So when it came to doing a song with anybody, I never smoked weed before. We couldn't have that in common. I wasn't standing on the corner. Couldn't have that in common either. I don't know nothing about that. Anything gangster, I don't know anything about that on record.
On a record.
On record.
On record. On record. On record.
I aspired to be LL Cool J my whole life. That's who I patterned myself after, right?
Right.
I never said 2 words to Tupac. Nothing. I found out about that session that day. So now, let me walk, and nobody knows that. So I'm just giving you, without giving everything up in the film. When the camera's off, I'll tell you. But there was no camaraderie. So it's almost like, let's say, if he falls out with Mav, you get it. He might be wrong, but that's your man, so you can't fuck with him no more. And he has to understand that. It's out of respect because he has an allegiance to you, right?
Right.
So when that whole rape thing happened, right? And it's him and Jack. Jack is my elder. I might not agree with everything he's ever done or said, but he's he's like a big brother to me.
Right. By the way, he's also doing a documentary right now.
Let me tell you something. With me, I was raised to have respect for my elders. So I had to hear that he was at odds with me. I didn't know. Right? I didn't know. And I watched a podcast or a blog or whatever it was, and he said some things about me that was crazy. I didn't know. You get it? And I had to think about why he would say that. Love Jack. Even if I'm not cool with you anymore, I remember I cut it off at the time where we were great.
Mm-hmm.
And I remember that. I can't talk bad about you to people that don't know you. I know everything about you. You understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
I'm not giving anybody that don't know you that.
Mm-hmm.
So when they fell out, I can't mess with this guy. I didn't mess with him before. We never said 2 words. We were in a car together. I was in a car with him and Jack the night they caught the rape case. Okay? We picked him up from the Parker Meridian. We started at 217th and Linden. Manhattan Proper's on the corner. Jack's Barbershop, Celebrity Status was next door. My whole team, we're there every day. Tuesdays was the Proper. So we drinking champagne in the barbershop, we'll go next door to the Proper. And I happened to be there by myself one night, and Jack's like, call me to pick up Tupac. All right, cool. And I ride, we're in an 850. Bro, there's no backseat. But this is my big brother. I love this guy. This is my man, okay?
Mm-hmm.
So I go with him, and he's chastising me the whole way. He's like, Tupac listens, you don't listen, right? Now, I'm a rapper. I got labels under my belt at the time, maybe 2, 3 that I've been signed. I've been signed to 7, right? Cool. I gotta take it. This is my big brother, right? So we argue like cats, and this is my man. Right. Whatever people heard he is, it doesn't affect me. That's family. We go pick up dude. He calls him, tells him come downstairs. He comes out, he gets in the car. I got to get in the back. I'm not the star. There's no back seat. He gets in the car. I swear to God, he gets in the car. Jack said, yo, it's my man Lil Sean. He turned around and said, We never said a word to each other.
Never once.
He got a big Ziploc bag of weed. Jack don't smoke weed. Jack don't listen to rap past the Sugar Hill Gang. He's older than me.
How young were you during that time?
This is 94, bro. I don't know, 20, 25, right? Cool. So he puts a Spice One tape in. He's armed. He's armed. I'm not. I'm scared to death. I want to get the fuck out of this car. Okay? Now, back then, the Midtown Tunnel is right there. We get the Midtown Tunnel, we good.
Good, right.
We get back to the barbershop. Jack said, yo, go pick up such and such, man. We going to have dinner at Lisa's in Long Island. I said, all right, no doubt. I went to pick up my man. He's getting dressed. He's like, yo, we got to go meet Jack. I'm like, nah, we're not going to do that. And I'm telling him what it was like being in the back seat. I said, bro, not a good look.
This is after everything.
No, this is
This
before.
is before.
So now I'm at this guy's house all night watching New York One. You remember New York One?
Yeah.
We're watching New York One. The news changes every 10 minutes, and we're drinking Moet all night long. He not driving. I am. I'm not taking him nowhere. We were supposed to go hang out.
Right.
I'm like, nah, I'm not going.
Right.
Bro, I pass out. Phone rings, wee hours of the morning. We hear what happened. We get up, go to Jack's house because he had already got out. And that's the night that they caught the rape case. I can't fuck with Tupac. I don't know him. I don't know him.
Right.
Do you understand what I'm saying? And I'll say this. Now, after that happens, and now they have this case, and it's in the newspaper. Bro, my phone is ringing. My house phone is ringing. I don't know how these people got my number. My phone, yo, bro, media crazy, especially back then. There's no internet.
Back then, it was just straight landlines.
It was really, like, they really had to do your homework.
Right.
How you got my mother's number? My phone is ringing. It's the Daily News. The fuck you got my number? Okay? Bro, how would I be doing a record with Tupac? Make sense to you? Now, wait a minute. Andre Harrell was in the studio. When I tell you sheer coincidence, and see, when I watch a lot of things that I could stomach, I know who's telling I know what's true and I know what isn't.
Right.
It's not for me to, right, make things right? So I just watch it. Sometimes I get mad, sometimes I laugh, right? But Uptown MCA was next door to Quad. You never heard that. Uptown MCA was right next door to Quad. All of our sessions was at Quad. We had a certain floor, 8th floor, locked down. So if the Lost Boys had a session, it was at Quad. It's next door, not down the block. No, nigga,
Right
next door. So we're there. I gotta be there. Why? I just got out of a deal with Capitol. Capitol paid me $80,000 to leave.
Why?
I was supposed to sign to Uptown first after the Fall MC project, right? So I was with Puff when they found Mary, when they found Jodeci. They're just curating these artists, right? And I'm running around with Puff every day. We're speaking at schools in yellow cabs, and we're in the studio. We're going to the house in Jersey. Jodeci's making music. They look crazy. They got dyed up hair, big shoes. I watched the whole process from nothing become what it became.
Right.
Okay? Andre had New York Undercover. Andre
Harrell.
and Dick Fox. That was his show. They taped across the street from One Oak, next to the DEA building. Right? Okay. Andre was transitioning out of music to film and television. He did Strictly Business. I wrote the title track, the Strictly Business. It was first called Go Natalie. Natalie was Christopher Williams' first wife. Bad as a motherfucker. Black, Asian, right? And then they changed it to Go Natalie. Halle Berry was already plucked to be the girl. I wrote the title track. Everything that came out of Uptown, I had first dibs at. I was an Uptown artist without being signed. Capitol didn't know what they were doing at the time. They had Hammer. Hammer had Too Legit to Quit. They ate up the marketing dollars, and everybody else suffered. So we had a conference call. It was me, my lawyer, who's still my lawyer to this day, Andre Harrell, Frank DeLeo. You familiar with the name? Are you?
Yeah.
See, you a dangerous, sneaky motherfucker. There's no reason why you know that name. That's crazy.
Pay attention.
Okay. So Frank DeLeo was marketing for Epic. So he had Michael Jackson. He managed Prince. He was one of those guys. You would think but he's not. He's Italian, right? He's like this with Pesci. He's like this with De Niro. That was my hangout partner. Okay, Mike used to chase him around hotel rooms with animals, right? He was about this tall, had a Piaget watch. You couldn't even see the setting of the diamond, visible settings. He was a solid motherfucker. And I used to hang out with him all the time in the Carnegie building, right? Cool. Bro, we're all on this conference call. And Andre said, listen, I'm not going to tell you what to do, but I will tell you no label likes a headache. Create a headache. Because I couldn't be trusted back then.
Why?
Because I was wild. So you don't want to be liable because you don't know what I'm gonna do to get off this label.
Right.
Andre said, when you get off this label, I got 300 for you, which is what I got from Capitol. I said, all right, cool. And I did some things. But before we did that, we asked them for a release. And they said, no, we think you have a bright future here. I was like, oh yeah? All right, cool. I got off my promotional tour with Capitol, and I went and opened up the Forever My Lady tour with Jodeci. I was an Uptown artist by default,
Right.
right? Capitol provided me tour support. I opened up the Forever My Lady tour. And I had to put some work in, right? They paid me $80,000 to leave. All my deals were 2 albums firm. So if they breached the contract, they technically owe me the next album's budget.
Boom.
I settled for 80 because I had 300 coming from Andre the next day. So I took a free 80, took 300, and now I'm on Uptown. So if I was writing movies back then like I'm doing now, I could go to Andre tonight if he was still alive and in position and get $1 million. Bro, you know how much money we had, bro? It was money everywhere. Like if you was broke, you was an idiot. If I went to Andre and said, yo, I got a script, and here's the line sheet, this is what it's gonna cost. Andre was all about promotion of young black people to positions in corporate America. That guy, man, him not being alive really messed me up because there's nobody in the game for me that represented what he represented, right? So anytime around,
Shout out to Andre Herrera.
I was professional. I really conducted myself like that was my second dad. A lot of respect around him, right? So I say that to say, Andre's thing was, somebody told him, Tupac wants to do a record with Sean and he doesn't want to do it. Andre, it's a business. So Andre's in the business of selling records. Tupac is a star. I don't give a fuck what he sold, what he didn't sell. If you were in the business, you knew this guy had it. Right? And it could have been anything. But he was like Denzel that made music. Bro, he would be on a Denzel level or better because he had that switch. You get what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
So Andre is like, yo, what is wrong with him? Is he crazy? How is he doing financially? The person told him he's not doing so good. He wasn't, truth be told. Andre said, can I give him a recurring role on New York Undercover? They said, absolutely. Come to the session. So Andre signed the Trackmasters as A&Rs, so they were in-house producers. They had an assistant, my girl. Great person. She called me. You have a session tonight. I'm like, with who? Where? I don't have no session tonight. And she told me. I was like, what? I said, you need to dig into that one because I know nothing about it. Well, I'm going to tell you this. Whether you know anything about Andre's going to be there. I was on probation, bro. As far as fucking up, I had no more fuck ups. If Andre's going to be there, I got to be there because he's there.
Right.
But he was only there because he wanted to give Homeboy a recurring role on New York Undercover. Nobody knows that. So when you hear people speak, you could double back to their multiple interviews and you'll hear them double talking. They said this one time and then they said that. I just laugh. Certain times I get tight. I've approached a couple people over the years, right? And I'm like, you cannot change the minds of the entertained. If you're entertained, and we're all entertained by different things.
Right.
I don't want to be the Farrakhan of what really happened. But what I will say is this. When you see this movie, even if you read the script, you're going to see it. You're going to say, wow. Because you're going to automatically know. This makes sense. I believe that. And the people that have spoken about this thing weren't there. They knew that one, but they weren't there. Mm-hmm. They knew this one. They weren't there. So when you ask me about that, and I don't talk about nothing ever, because I'm not going to play with you. I'm not going to play with my name either.
Right.
I got to be smart. I got to protect my peace because I'm going all the way. I'm going all the way. I can't. Years ago, yeah, I can. And I did. I can't. So I got to think for other people. And I got to go, all right, if I got online and I had a podcast and I said something, oh, you're going to take that and now we have to answer that. We're going to use a clip. I got a short list of niggas. And it's called On Site. I got people everywhere. All around the world. Invisible people. Anybody on that list of On Site gets seen, I'm going to get the video. Because you bugging out for a check? That's what you're doing? All right. I'm not to be played with. I'm not the gangster. I'm not the real nigga. I'm none of that shit. And it's cool. I don't care what you believe. Don't cross the invisible line. And we're good. If you getting your money, cool. Don't do that. Sometimes I'm human, so I've heard things and I call him. I'm like, this motherfucker, I got to vent. I got to get it out. But if I put you on Behind the Smoke X and I put you on blast, I really was tight and you're not going to say nothing back and you know me and you know what it is. So whatever you selling, all right, it's snake oil. Just leave my name out of your conversation and we cool. But the day you call my name on a platform that I would never be on or have never been on, I gotta come see you. And anybody that knows
That's a show and I know.
They know I'm coming.
That's a show and I know.
You follow what I'm saying? So when you see that incident, right? I used to hang out at Def Jam every day. Every day.
What about when you used to hang out at Henchman too?
Yeah, but before that. Right? So I'm at Def Jam every day, right? And somebody bought me a demo tape. And I listened to it. And it was, what is the song called? Hit 'Em Up? The realest shit I ever wrote. Against All Odds, right?
Against All Odds.
I heard it.
Right.
It wasn't out. And I'm listening to it. And at the end of the record, they said, Little Sean, you faggot, we're going to get you too. I heard it with my own eyes on my dead father. When that record came out, that was the only thing that wasn't on the record. You see, so when I told you on the phone the other day, when we kicked it,
Very inconspicuous, this one.
look, he looks at the camera. What did I tell you? When I told you on the phone the other day, I'm going to give you something, but I'm going to rely on your common sense. Fuck what I say.
I understand.
What do you think, right? Now watch. Wait. I heard the record. All right, cool. I quit the music industry. I'm the only person that got questioned for that crime. Andre said, they want to question you because it was your session. I said, I'll talk to them. I don't care. It was Midtown North. Right? Mm-hmm. Which was the precinct residing for that area. Right? I said, I'll do it if we do it in your office and you're there. So, all right, cool. The first thing they said, I said, I'm gone. Come back with 12. I'm cool. And I left. You see why he laughed? He's a funny dude. But you understand what I'm saying?
Right.
And I got up and left. And I said, if I'm getting questioned for doing music or for something music related, I'm going back to the streets. I don't need this rap shit. I quit. Dom Perignon was the last song I made. I was turned off. I quit. And then I did my crime that I caught my case for. So the crime was committed in that time span.
Mm-hmm.
I got indicted April 8th, 98 for that back then. But I was cool because a lot of people say you chose the streets, you chose jail over the industry. And I'm like, it really wasn't a difference to me because I got questioned for a fucking crime, right? They said that I was jealous of Tupac's jury. And I said, that's your angle? I said, y'all don't want to solve this case. I said, that's your angle? I had an open case in Midtown North at the time. I had an open case in Brooklyn at the time. So when they came, they had my folder. And they said, well, you know, I'm like, that's your angle? Y'all don't care about, come on, y'all playing. Y'all don't want to solve this case. So a lot of things that Tupac was saying, he was right and he didn't know, which was his discernment. He was right, but he didn't know why he was right. But most of everything you've ever heard out of anybody's mouth was wrong, bro. It wasn't right. I can't.
Did you watch the Biggie movie?
Come on. Bro, I got called to the set when I came home because there was a part, they had a guy playing me. And he had a speaking part. And I got called to the set by two people that I love and respect to this day. And out of respect, they said, we want to make sure you're good with this.
Right.
Right? And I came to the set, they showed me what it was. I said, nah, you can't do that. So the person is still in it with no speaking parts, out of respect. Nobody knows that. Get it? All right. Now you can do what you want to do.
Right.
But respect. And I respected that. Right? But when it came to everything that transpired, right? Tupac knew. He knew. He knew the nucleus. He knew why too. He knew. So when you say, oh, Sean was wearing Tupac's jewelry, okay, how could that be true? If this picture was taken in Manny's Diamonds in 1991, Google images of Tupac in 1991. When Tupac came around us, he wore this. He had a two-tone Rolex on. Jack took him shopping the next day. And he had our uniform on. Diamond cross, pinky ring. And he was, he was dressed like me. We all dressed the same.
Right.
They know. But there are images that support this thing.
Right.
You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So one day I went shopping, right? They had this Armani Exchange Paperboy vest. It was canvas, it went over your head and it's strapped on the sides. I bought a beige one and I bought a blue one. Jack used to always say, you be going to stores, you don't want nobody to know your stores. I used to be on West Broadway. Soho wasn't West Broadway for niggas, it was Broadway. I used to be on West Broadway, spinning the arm and leg for clothes every day.
Right.
And Jack used to always say, this guy be hiding in stores.
Up in the 50s.
Ain't no. Soho.
Soho. Oh, further.
Why you giving me mixed signals? Let's be honest. You want some dick in you? Or you don't? I don't know.
Baby, you got what I need. But you say I'm just
Nah.
You say I'm just
Fuck outta here.
Stop playing.